Hi guys, Miss Main here with today's story, Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart. If you would like to take the quiz number, 162763, and it is a 2.9 nonfiction book full of lots of good, true facts and information. It's a National Geographic. So we're going to talk about who is Amelia Earhart, her growing up, the love of flying in her time. She set records, becoming famous, American hero, 6 fun facts about Amelia, around the globe, the last flight, what in the world, and then there's a glossary. So who is Amelia Earhart? Words to know. A pilot is a person who flies a plane. A person who flies a plane is called a what? A pilot. Airplanes were new in the 1920s. People mostly traveled by car or boat or train, but Amelia Earhart dreamed of flying. Amelia was one of the first women pilots. She was known all over the world. She did many things women had never done before. Growing up, this is the house where Amelia was born. Amelia Mary Earhart was born July 24th, 1897. She grew up in Athens, Kansas. She had a sister named Muriel. The girls played football and fished. They read books and they collected bugs. Back then, girls wore long dresses, but Amelia's mother made them play suits. Then they could run and play like boys. In her own words, I believe that women have as much courage as men. Amelia's family moved a lot. She went to many different schools. Amelia made friends easily. She enjoyed making people laugh. When Amelia grew up, she worked as a nurse. Later, she worked at a center that helped poor children. The children loved her. Amelia loved to help people. This is Amelia in her nurse's uniform. A love of flying. When Amelia was 23, her father took her to an air show. She took a short ride in an airplane that day. Amelia fell in love with flying. In her own words, as soon as we left the ground, I knew I myself had to fly. Amelia with the first plane that she owned. Amelia wanted to be a pilot. She worked hard to earn money for lessons. Amelia's first teacher was pilot Netta Snook. In her time, many things were different in the late 1920s and 1930s. Jobs, most people did not have a lot of money. There were not many jobs. Money. A stuffed teddy bear cost 98 cents, less than $1. A radio. People did not have TVs in their homes. Most people listened to the radio. For fun, people played board games for fun. Cars. Cars were much slower than they are today. They could not go very far either. Women. Finding jobs was harder for women than for men. Some people thought women shouldn't work outside of the home. Setting records. Amelia always tried to do better. She flew fast. She flew high. Amelia wanted to be the first woman pilot to cross the Atlantic Ocean. It was very dangerous. Many people had died trying. But in 1932, she made the long, hard trip, and she did it. all by herself. In her own words, adventure is a worthwhile in itself. Becoming famous. Amelia Earhart was becoming famous. She was well known because she was a great pilot, but also because she was a woman pilot. In her own words, women must try to do things as men have tried. Amelia taught women college students about jobs and careers. Not many women had careers in the 1930s, but Amelia did. She told women they could have careers too. Words to know: what is a career? A career is a person's life work. Amelia wrote books about her flying career. She gave speeches all over the country. In 1933, she was invited to the White House. Amelia became friends with Eleanor Roosevelt, President Franklin Roosevelt's wife. She took Mrs. Roosevelt for a ride in her airplane. Mrs. Roosevelt wished she could be a pilot too, and there's a picture of the White House. Amelia and Eleanor Roosevelt agreed that women could do the same kinds of jobs as men. An American hero. Amelia got many awards and medals. She spoke to college students about aviation. People everywhere wanted to be like her. What is aviation? The world of flying airplanes. Amelia at Purdue University. Amelia was not afraid to try new things, and she never gave up. She was a hero to Americans. Amelia helped test a parachute. Amelia was the first woman to get this medal. It is the United States Distinguished Flying Cross. Good for her. 6 fun facts about Amelia. The first fun fact, number 1, Amelia drank hot cocoa and ate oranges on her plane trips. Second fun fact, pilots used to be called aviators. The word comes from avis. It means bird in Latin. Third fun fact, Amelia married George Putnam in 1931. He published books. He helped Amelia with her career. Number 4 fun fact, one of Amelia's planes is at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. That is in Washington, D.C. That's where the White House is. 5th fun fact, number 5, Amelia was the first president of the 99s. This is a group of women flyers. Not the first president of the United States, the first president of a group called 99s. Okay, don't get that confused. Number 6, Amelia had her own U.S. postage stamp. It came out in 1963. Stamps then were only 8 cents. Today, a stamp is 55 cents. Around the globe. Amelia always dreamed of flying around the world. She got a bigger, faster plane to make the trip. Amelia took Fred Noonan with her. He was her navigator. His job was to give the directions. Amelia's job was to fly the plane. A navigator is a person who uses maps to help find their way. In Amelia's own words, flying may not be all plain sailing, but the fun of it is worth the price. The last flight. Amelia and Fred flew for 1 month. They flew across deserts and mountains. But the hard part was next. They had to fly over the huge Pacific Ocean. A Lockheed Electra 10E airplane, the same model Amelia used in her flight around the world. So in 1897, 1916, 1918, all the way to 1926. And this is the cockpit of Amelia's plane. They would have to stop for gas on a tiny island. It was hard to find, but Amelia was brave. On July 2nd, 1937, she took off for her final stop. Suddenly, the plane could not be reached by radio. No one is sure what happened. Many people believe that the plane ran out of gas and crashed. Amelia was never found. Amelia Earhart was a great pilot. She taught others to live without fear. She was loved by people all over the world. Amelia's final flight. So she started here. She was kind of going around the world, but she never made it. What in the world? These pictures show close-up views of items from Amelia Earhart's time. Use the hints to figure out what is in the pictures. So number 1, a machine used to fly. What is a machine used to fly? That's an airplane. Number 2, it protects your head. What protects your head? A helmet. Number 3, what covers your eyes? Goggles. Number 4, that award that she got, it's just a medal. Number 5, you can use this to find your way. What do you use to help you find your way? A map. And number 6, Amelia was on a stamp. It goes on a piece of mail, a stamp. All right, so that is today's story. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about somebody new, Amelia Earhart. I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's story. Bye, guys.